I apologize, but you already know that I don't like the Title V proposal because of the fee increase amount. We've talked about that in climate and energy. So I still have some unanswered questions on that 80%, or what was it, 88? And then we figured out, I guess it was figured out, that at the very end, it would be almost a 90-some% by the time you figure some fees or something else additional that are part of that, a 90-some%. How do you expect people to stay in business when you raise the fees almost 100%?
Chair Pham, I believe we understand the fee increase is substantial. We understand that it impacts, and people need to budget for it. I can only compare it with the other jurisdictions in Region 10, which we did that. Even after the increase, our fees are comparable to the lower end of permitting authorities in Washington, Idaho, and even Alaska. So I did not compare it to elsewhere. I could bring you back East Coast facilities that they're substantially lower than this. All I can say is, as it currently stands, we are below the lowest. We compare with the lowest fees in the Northwest.
Thank you, Chair. No. So you brought up my favorite subject. You said that the people that have to pay these fees need to budget for that. I get the impression you got caught off guard and you didn't budget for the fact that these fees needed to be raised on a regular basis instead of waiting so long. And there's only 105 businesses, am I correct, that are affected by this raise? And you haven't raised fees since 2018. Did I get that correct? I wrote down while they were talking.
Great.
Subject to Title V, in 2018 was the last time that you raised the fees. So I understand the pandemic and coming out of a pandemic and not knowing the surety. But you're asking me to give you grace as a department when you're not giving the businesses that are affected by this cost raise grace. And what I hear from the businesses that are affected by this rate is that they were not involved in enough conversations. And we asked for, in my other committee, we asked that we have a work group to try to figure out a way to phase that in more equitably so that some of those businesses would not go out of business. And they were told no, for lack of a better word. You couldn't come to agreement to a work group or a task force or something to make that work better. So I have a hard time giving grace when the businesses that are in my district, and there's quite a few of them now I keep finding out, that are going to be affected, and they will also be laying off people because they will not be able to afford to keep people in business with that 80% raise.
Thanks, Rep. Levy. Yes.
Thank you.
Director.
Co-Chair Dembro, Co-Chair Pham, Representative Levy, thank you for that. And I think what I want to say is that we don't want any of our businesses to go out of business, and certainly not because of DEQ fees. And I want to recognize that 80% is a lot. It's not unprecedented, but it's a lot, and especially coming off of a pandemic. So I think that's really fair, and we want to be cognizant of that. And obviously, it is the legislature's prerogative where we end up with this. I think our job is just to make sure that I want to make sure that all of you as a committee are aware of just, what will happen in terms of our ability to provide services to those fee payers based on the amount of monies that we receive. And I think that's what we really want to do, is just be really transparent and upfront with you about the need that's there, and then figure out how we continue to provide the right level of service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your comment.